So, last time, everybody was picked up on a train by Frenzebald, and he
was kind of mad when I took his food and just started eating it.
No, he was actually pretty okay with it. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, "It's yours now." And he did hand you a letter, which Nate is going to read again to set the scene, and then we will pick up from that. So, hold on. We're gonna.
I don't remember what kind of accent I used. No, that's a lie.
Okay, so I think my initial decision was more accurate.
We need to redo the resources.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo those because I totally and completely messed those up.
Sean was bad and presumably feels bad.
You know, honestly, since what I rolled was 2 5s, which would have given me 10 resources, but the reality is because I rolled 2 5s, I now have 0 resources. I preferred the other one.
I too preferred the other one.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, how was the train noises, Tammy? I just want to make sure it's not too loud for you.
Wait, we're on a train?
It's really nice.
Okay.
Wonderful ambience.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I could just read everything that I read last time, and we could just start with the movie. Remember, there was something about a crow hitting the wall, or hitting the...
Oh, yeah.
I wrote down that there was a body washed up on the beach. I do have a question. So, I know myself, Londa, and Megan know each other. Why are we on the train before we get the letter?
The Frenzebald went through Uppsala and picked each of you up one at a time, brought you together, and if anybody asked like what it was for, like he had contacted you ahead of time, you knew that you were going to be part of it, but as for the exact like what was going to happen, he told you to wait until everybody was together. Then he explained to you about the society and that you all have the site. And then he handed you a letter as to what you will be doing. Okay. And that's where we will pick up. And I didn't know that this had the super annoying train whistle, so I'm actually going to switch this.
While Sean switches that, question for the people I didn't mention. Is your character in this little suite of rooms with us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one is.
I think we're all in the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody is in like the same train car area together.
That looks comfortable.
Okay. I think as people walked in, my character would have greeted everyone, given her name, and handed you Werther's original.
What of us? Yeah, I remember like I hailed down the
Yes, the
Carving cart train person. And
that is because Londa asked you to get coffee, and you said no and yelled, and coffee was brought to you.
Yep. And then I would like to say I meticulously served. God, names are going to be such a fucking problem.
That's okay, I wrote them down.
Names are going to. So I meticulously served Sophia, make sure everything's nicely laid out for her, and everyone else is just massively left to their own.
And then Frenzebald hands the letter to Torel Luft Balloons, and he will read it to kind of put us back where we were.
Dear Mr. Frenzebald Hansen, my name is Oscar Udgred, priest in the fishing village of Frau Blucher. It is with a heavy heart that I write these lines. I am at wit's end with my current predicament, so I turn to you. I met with you and another member of your exalted order during my studies at Uppsala a few years ago, and now I place my hope in your particular talents and expertise. My best friend and mentor, Vicar Carl Eric Hedquist, is dead. His body was found a week ago, washed up on a beach in the Falbaka. It's like Chewbacca, but falling.
Fallback.
Falbaka.
Yep.
Fallbaka.
Fallback.
Falbaka. Washed up on a beach in the Falbaka archipelago. Now I should just work on it. Archipelago. The Falbaka archipelago. The coroner has identified the cause of death as a self-inflicted gunshot through the head and written it off as suicide. I refuse to accept this conclusion, certain that there is something unnatural afoot, and I know who is responsible. What I lack is proof and the means to do something about it. I last saw Carl Eric alive 1 week before he was found dead. This was once again heading out to Wrecker Isle in the archipelago, to bring the word of God to the depraved seafarers frequenting the inn on the island. Wrecker Isle is a hub of maritime traffic and the site of the largest herring saltery in the archipelago. Some days, the sea lane is so clogged with boats and ships that people can walk across them halfway to Polbaka. Wrecker Isle reeks with herring and, sir, a godless stain on this earth. The proprietors of this den of thieves, herring baron Zacharias Amundsen and his mother Abela, whom the locals call the godmother, are openly defying the teachings of our Lord and have thrown out the good vicar every time he visited Wrecker Isle. I am convinced that the herring baron and the godmother, along with Zachariah's feeble-minded but dangerous older brothers, Paul, Pete, and Pace, are doing the devil's bidding and are to blame for Carl Eric's untimely death. I shall go to Wrecker Isle to find proof of the guild and face these henchmen of Satan face to face. I require your assistance in this perilous endeavor. If you cherish your God and wish to help his humble servant in his time of greatest need, meet me in Holbaka at your earliest convenience. With highest regard, Oscar Lundgren.
All right. So, and then the man who had handed you that letter, review it, is Franzbald Hansen. He is a short and stout Danish man, decked out in lavish green and mustard yellow fabric. A deep green jacket that falls to his calves, a yellow vest visible underneath, hiding a white shirt and a mustard yellow tie. The vest has 4 buttons. From one hangs a chain that disappears into a small pocket on the left side of his vest. You know this contains a pocket watch connected to a small green stone. You know this because he has checked it regularly as the train has made its way through the countryside and Uppsala proper, picking each one of you up one at a time. Though he has greeted you with a warm smile and polite conversation whenever he's asked about the purpose, he has said to please wait until everybody has gotten there. Now, you read the letter, and he just smiles at you like, our first stop will be Polbaka, a small fishing village nestled under the mountains of Battenberg. There we shall meet Oscar, the author of the letter. You will board a boat and be ushered through the Polbaka archipelago to Wrecker Isle, where you will do your best to determine in order to discern if Oscar's mentor did indeed take his own life, or if there are other factors at play.
And for this service, we are paid.
For this service, this is a test to see if you have what the Order is looking for in its newest members, and if the Order is something that you want to join going forward.
But throughout the duration, we will at least be fed until we've made our decision.
Well, on the train and the carriage and the ship, yes. Once you reach Wrecker Isle, that I leave to you.
And if we choose not to join the Order, is there some kind of penalty for this?
I wish you well, and we'll send you on your way.
Seems I'm free for the next week or so.
It's funny how that works.
I'm curious why the Order chose this group. Points to like the author and the assistant. Why not some private investigator or some one of that ilk?
Well, she has determined that it is likely, though not certain, that Vaesen have something to do with this particular issue. And it's funny you should mention private investigators, because it's important that you remember that not everybody has the sight like we do. So you should be careful who you tell what you do and don't see, because not everybody will respond necessarily positively if you tell them. So as far as Oscar is concerned, myself and anybody I associate with are just very good at solving mysteries and questions, which is why he reached out. And she has decided that this is the perfect opportunity for yourselves to see if this is something you want to do going forward.
Keeps my belly full and a few coins in my pocket. I'm willing to give it a shot.
It might.
So because I want to like practice some stuff, Sophia will stand up, like with her cane. She's got a little cane, and she'll go over and take one of his hands in between both of hers, like sandwiched between. Oh, you're such a dear boy. Thank you so much. And while she's doing that, I would like to see whether or not it seems like he's hiding something from us.
Principal?
Yes.
That would be a
Boom, boom, first roll, let's go.
All right, now I gotta see. Which skill that's gonna be.
Kind of feeling that'd probably be empathy,
Ob-
right? Observation.
Observation is what I was gonna go with, but I don't have all of the Vaesen skills memorized yet. So.
Understand what they are thinking or planning.
Yep, it would be. So give me an observation check.
All right. So I naturally have 2 extra points in that. So I would roll by 5.
You would combine the 2 numbers together.
So
whatever number is
and
next to your
skills.
observation, and then.
So that's 7. So just roll 7 d6s and see.
You roll 7 d6s. If you get a 6, if you get any 6s, you succeed. If you get no 6s, you fail.
All right, let's find out what happens.
No.
7 d6. Roll.
Did you roll 76?
70.
I did. I got 1. But there was 1 6 in there.
So okay, what were you trying to discern again?
Whether or not he's hiding something.
You can tell that he doesn't seem to be maliciously withholding anything, but he is talking around some things.
Okay.
You don't get the sense that it's malicious, but you do get the sense that he's kind of talking around some stuff.
I'm trying to think back if there was anything he seemed kind of dodgy on, but nothing comes to my memory. So,
sorry, hold on just a second. Too.
I was just gonna say, other character, I like that the point of the like one shot or whatever you call it, that we're using to evaluate Vaesen. We're also evaluating Vaesen as our characters, like evaluating the club or whatever.
You're welcome. Beal.
Tammy's character is standing basically right in front of me because she's right in front of
in
the other
between
guy.
in between you and Fruncible, because you're all like you have a card together.
Short version is, did I see which pocket she pulled the Werthers out of?
You would have, yes.
Okay. I walk forward and just grab one. Oh no, I'm not trying to hide it. She'll know.
Oh, okay.
Oh. She's gonna stop and swat at your hand. You said you're young, right?
Yes. Young-ish. Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't. She's old, so she's gonna see you as a child no matter what at this point.
Fair. But they're very
now,
good.
dearie. There's
They're very
plenty to
good.
go around.
And
So
I've never had
she
one
reaches
before.
she reaches into a completely different pocket and pulls out 2 more and hands them to you. You need only ask, dear.
So he holds his hand out and waits for the 2 to be placed in there, and then he looks at the different pockets, somewhat confused, and then goes back and leans against the wall again.
Okay, so
Anyone
then she
happens to look over at Megan. Megan is fucking bristling and pissed and glaring at this jerk who dared go into Miss Sophia's pocket without her permission. Someone made it at him.
So Sophia turns back to Franzball and once again sandwiches his hand. Even if he was to try and like get out of the way, she would like reach forward like a snake and grab it. And she sandwiches his hand again, And then it just says, "That's so kind of you. Thank you for all of your help. If there's anything else you think we should know, please help an old lady out."
I'm sorry, I can't help but see the old woman, Sylvester's like owner from Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's all I can.
Yes.
That's what I see
Yes.
and hear when you're talking.
Now I'm going to hear from that from now on.
Sylvester, Tweety, and the grandma.
Yes. But I'm
What?
also the version from Space Jam where I'm actually badass and only pretend to be weak and old.
Hey,
And he just kind of he nods at you. Oh, well, if I can answer any questions, I will try. But otherwise, we've got the better part of a day between now and when we get there. It'll be a train ride for about 20 hours, and then we have a few hour carriage ride, and then we'll get to the dock where you will meet Oscar.
That's so lovely, dear. And she pulls out another candy and from a third pocket, completely different pocket, pulls out another candy, gives it to him, and says, "If you think of anything between now and then, please don't hesitate, no matter how small. We don't know this area very well, and maybe you know more about the Vaesen here than we do. You're such a sweet boy." And then she turns away, drops another candy on, is it Tabika?
It is Tabika Dalk. That was what you would do.
So what I'm doing is I'm turning and I'm reading the names that y'all have put in Discord. So thank you. And then she very exaggeratedly hobbles her way back with her cane to her chair.
Before she turns away, do they always get stuck in your tooth?
Oh dear, you're so lucky to have teeth.
I love your character.
He's now rethinking eating these candies.
Hey,
It was like Toro would ask buddy, whose name I already forgot.
Funzball.
Frenzebald. Like, have there been any other injuries or ailments in the area that could be suspect?
Well, not that I've heard of. The only thing I really know is that this particular vicar has been annoying the herring baron, trying to convert them. But as far as I know, there haven't been any other disappearances or deaths or injuries or anything like that.
Sophia, is he talking about a Lord of the Fish?
Yes. He is about 30 years ago. They bought Ricker Isle, and they have done nothing but make the largest herring saltery in the archipelago, in the general area. And it has made them very wealthy.
I don't believe I was right. Wow. Well, I get a plus
So-
one.
Sophia
Yeah.
Sophia turns to Megan and says, "Oh, I do love herring, dear. I've got a lovely recipe."
Oh, okay, Miss
they'd
Sophia,
be
we'll be sure to
providing
get some.
samples of these, Harry.
Well, there is an inn and a tavern on Wrecker Isle, and it's usually pretty busy from what I hear. So I'm sure they will provide. I've not been there myself, but I'm sure they will have plenty of herring dishes for you there.
And will you and Oscar be paying for our accommodations?
I will not be going with you to Wrecker Isle. I will be staying in Falbacca to test out. No. Kafika? Yes, I will be enjoying Kafika. And
I missed that. Enjoying what?
Is it Kafika? No, I'm trying to remember. Basically, it's Swedish. It's like brunch. Fika.
Fika.
Yeah, fika. It's think of it like tea time and brunch rolled into one, and it's very relaxing. So I am going. There's a few bakeries that I want to go try some cakes, and that's what I will be doing and waiting for you to return and let me know what you find.
Miss Sophia, that kind of sounds like it might be a bit of a better journey for us.
Sophia reaches over and just really warmly and with like all sorts of genuine thought touches Megan's shoulder and says, "Oh dear, we have so much to do. I would love to, but I'm afraid it's more important that we investigate this terrible, terrible thing."
I'm sure you're right.
But after.
Oh yes, after we shall have all of the cakes.
I promise I will save some strawberry cakes.
Oh, what a sweet young man.
I prefer boysenberry myself.
Oh, I like that. I love to try to find it.
Sorry, lindenberry.
Lindenberry.
Keep it on the continent.
All right, so at this time, train comes to a stop, and you do move over to a carriage for the last leg of your journey.
I thought he said it was going to be 20 hours on the train.
Yeah.
It is, but I wanted to switch the
Best 20
background,
hours.
so.
You know,
Oh, I wanted to
You
do
can
something
still-
in that 20 hours though.
train RP, please.
New bliss.
Man, these are like nice transport.
Yeah, these are fabulous.
Meanwhile,
But yeah, I do.
You do get the sense that Frenzwald, in his very, very nice outfit, is used to comfort.
must be nice.
Almost
Actually, it is.
So-
And I haven't
Can
been
we-
to stop the train yet.
Go ahead.
Time for everything.
Are we still technically on the train even though the background is the
Sure.
Cups?
Sure.
Because I would, again, I want to practice this stuff, so I would like to use my, one of my talents.
Tactical nuclear weapon.
Which talent?
Global.
Automatic writing.
That's only once per mystery, correct?
No, actually, I think it's
Yes.
once per session. I thought it was. I don't have it up. If I'm wrong, then obviously I'm not going to do it right now.
Writer's talents, automatic writing. Oh, yep, once per session. You are right.
Left.
All right. So
Do you want to read the description out loud, please?
when channeling spirits through automatic writing, you can use inspiration to gain clues. The game master provides more or less vague clues, predictions about the future, or momentary insights into the thoughts and experiences of your enemies. Extra successes reveal more clues. On a failure, I decide whether you suffer a condition, become possessed, or undergo a personality change that lasts 1d6 hours.
Just started liking it. I'll kill it now.
Okay, so how do I do that?
I
I think it's an inspiration check, right?
Yeah, it will be an inspiration check, and
Okay.
you have to let me know if you succeed and how many successes you
Okay.
get if you do, and if you don't, this will be interesting.
Yes, it will. So what I'm attempting to learn, like, if she would just sort of like stay back and quiet and look as though she's journaling, like she's not going to say out loud, "Look, I'm going to commune with the spirits." So I get my 5 in empathy and my 3 for inspiration. So I'm going to roll 8d6. Whew, I got 1. Only 1 success.
Aw, I wanted to give out a condition.
Oh, poor DM. Don't worry, it's coming.
So, well, since I can't hand it to you because you're not here, as you kind of lean back and you're look down at your paper as your pen moves over it, everything just kind of goes white. Like you don't recall how long you've been writing. It ends up taking about an hour. So while much conversation is going on, you're just kind of blanking out, staring at it. Your hand is moving quickly over the paper. And when you come to, you can read it.
Oh, never mind. Okay. I thought you were putting it in front of the camera. I'm like, bold of you. I can try.
There was once a fisherman out at the sea where he met a young woman whose beauty was unreal. This doesn't rhyme. I can't read.
That's too damn bad.
Why is it broken out? Like, what kind of fucking prose is this?
This is the worst limerick I have ever heard.
It would rhyme.
She made him a deal he could not refuse. All the silver of the sea, and for his first were insane.
It's closer. It's closer.
He accepted with sorrow, as he loved his son dearly. But times were dark, for the fish bit rarely. As the next years came, the fisher grew wealthy. had he made a deal that turned the sea again silver. When the woman returned, asking for another of his sons, the fisherman refused, now much wealthier had become. The maid became angry, her temper grew wild. She made the sea rise for nothing to survive. The fisher was clever, taking spoons from the kitchen, as he knew from old tales that sea women dread silver. He stopped her at once, banned her under the sea, for she never returned, nor did the silver of the sea.
Did you have that
Interesting.
protect you about her skill?
Yes. I didn't write it. I didn't find it. Somebody else created it for this particular session, but I did grab it
better
because-
than that.
You're very prepared.
and sometimes, and then sometimes you guys do stuff, and I'm like, oh shit.
I do have a small request, especially because I'm not there and I find it difficult to retain things that I only hear. Can we have a channel in here where anything that's read aloud gets just pasted in there so we can refer back to it?
There is a channel in there. I just have
Maps
to
and handout channel.
get it.
Okay.
So
It doesn't have to happen right now. That's a small request because that would be very helpful to me.
What do you now?
Right now. All right. Yes, I will add it. But
Okay,
that
thank you.
is. Shush you. So yes, I am looking at it right now, but that is what you do find because I do have it in here, so I'll add it in just. But that is what you write.
Okay, so Sophia would relay this to the group, and she would say it as though she was remembering a story from this area, and both Londa and Megan would know there's more to it than that, but no one else would. Although they might choose to observe it, but they wouldn't know it without trying.
Still picking worders out of my group.
That's not your best work, Miss Sophia.
Well, dear, you know I get a little motion sick.
I do.
All right, it's in there, Tammy.
Oh, thank you.
We've been on
There it
been
is.
on a boat, getting on a boat.
Can we also get the letter that was given to us by Franzibald?
Don't want much, do not.
Sorry! It was long and there was a lot of good detail and I missed it. Partially because I have no idea how to spell things.
Is there some sort of like mythology check I can do, like to like? Are there any like known tales about silver and Vaesen and things like silvers and seas, silver seas?
You know, really help if I had all the skills and everything
I don't
memorized.
know if learning like
It's technically
It would
our
be.
first session.
It would be a learning check.
that's more.
Logic, yeah.
Yeah,
Who's my logic person?
my character knows more about places, not so much mythology, so maybe not. We can drop it. Yeah.
I'm a logic person. Toro would wonder about that himself.
Okay, I mean you can definitely do a
That's
learning.
right. Toral is Dr. Tiny Cat. That's how I remember.
Yes.
Toral, Tiny Cat.
Toral
Plus
is
balloons.
Dr. Tiny Cat.
So is learning, and so my learning is 2, and
I'll do
then
learning
that's
check.
logic, and so I add those 2 numbers up, and that's how many d6 I roll.
Yes, and if you get a 6, it's a success. If you don't get a 6, then you get a brain tumor and die.
DM, can I roll 2? This is my best skill. Also.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
I would say so. Is
You didn't mean anything by that, Lex.
is Sophia? Did Sophia like read this out loud? Share this with everybody, just so I'm.
Damn.
Tammy?
Yes, as though she had just like.
Okay, then
like
yes.
she-
Anybody
yeah.
who would want to make a learning check would be able to, as Sophia spoke it out loud.
Success.
1 6. No, I just can't read the dice. No,
Brain
no,
tumor?
So if anybody else
One
wants
success
to
and one
make
brain
a
tumor?
learning check-
Is there a disadvantage if you?
No, not for this. There will. I will let you know if.
I got one.
Nice. I will let you know if a check that you want to do that I don't specifically call for would have a negative effect and give you an opportunity.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
You can have a
Especially for
Werther's
this-
original DM.
What was that?
I said that's very kind of you. You can have a Werther's original DM.
Oh, I got it.
Oh wow.
Holy crap, I got it.
All right.
Suck it.
I even rolled twice. The second time just for fun to see if I was being unlucky. Turns out I am.
And okay, so I should bring this up now. You do have the ability at any time to push a roll. What that means is if you make a roll and you fail it, or even if you succeed but you don't get the number of successes you want, you can push the roll and re-roll all non-sixes again. If you do, you automatically get a condition, physical or mental, depending on what the check is for, regardless of whether you succeed or not. But that is always an option. If there is an important check that you didn't make or that you didn't get enough successes on, you can do that at any time. You automatically get a condition.
Strain your
It's
brain.
like one of
Got
those,
it.
Nate. I would probably take the condition.
All right, then everybody who got a success, I will say that with how relatively recently you have all received the site and with how few Vaesen you have dealt with, nothing specifically pops into your mind, but you do know that every Vaesen has a way to banish it or nullify its abilities. There is rituals or objects that can either banish it for a set amount of time or from a specific place, or nullify / protect you from its powers. You do know that. You don't know any particular Vaesen that would fit this description, but you do have that general knowledge about this.
Boy.
Okay, I
Boy
have
there.
two things. One, we have coffee or tea thanks to Megan screaming for it. I don't suppose it's in a silver carafe.
Sure.
Or on a silver tray, or with silver cups.
It's all gold, solid. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. There would be it wouldn't be the cups wouldn't be silver, but they are served on a silver tray. And then in a silver carafe.
All right, so Sophia moves the cups and the coffee off of the tray and looks at it and goes, "Oh, this is so lovely," and then she just slips it into her bag. Doesn't try and hide it. Just literally steals it in front of everyone. I assume the Franzbald is not currently in the room.
No, he is.
Oh, he is.
He's there with you.
He's still gonna do it then.
Unless you
No.
want to try and do this like as the train stops while you're moving
No.
over to the carriage.
0% stealth. She's just acting like a dotty old lady. Like, whoop. Oh, this is lovely.
Lady. I've absolutely met this old lady.
Franzbald, he's sipping his tea and he watches you do this. Like he's just staring at you the whole time. And as you look up and you see him, he's just like, just looks at the ground, and looks back up and continues sipping his tea.
Don't know
My
her like
friend
more.
called a very satisfied man.
I know nothing. I
Unwilling
see
to run away?
nothing.
Or one willing to take.
Just don't take from my Miss Sophia.
All's fair.
I don't take the carafe though. I just take the tray.
Just a trade.
Yep.
Just a large piece.
Yeah.
It's flat, so it fits very nicely in next to her unmentionables and the giant bags of Werther's originals that she carries everywhere.
New key.
Under her teeth. Under her wooden teeth.
Um,
I start to resist.
All right. Is there anything anybody else would like to do or say or ask prior to getting to callback?
Oh, just marveling that I'm inside the carriage instead of underneath or atop it.
My weak horses.
Yes, your very weak horse is in one of the other train cars. And then when you move to the carriage, it is actually very slowly walking behind the carriage.
Being drugged.
It's just laying down.
There's one whole bench.
Yeah. So there's the 7 of you on one bench and then the horse laying on the other bench.
Nope, I think I'll sit on top.
Make sure I've still got my.
How about all of our
I'm done
equipment?
shoveling shit. Just so
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Someone else
I
can
have like
deal
a
with
rifle.
those.
Is that with me, or is that another?
Yes,
guy?
that would all be with you. And prior to reaching fallback, I was gonna say we could take a quick break, and this would be a good time to do like the resources and stuff. So the way the resources work is, what is it, wealth, or I'm trying to remember what it's called on your character sheets.
It's called resources
Is
on the
it?
character sheet.
And then it should have a number next to it. So everybody roll that number of d6s, and if you get a 6, then that is a resource you can spend. If you don't get a 6, then it isn't. And you can pool resources together.
Holy crap! I only rolled 2 dice and I got a 6. That's a miracle.
You got a 6? Oh, nice.
I did a 6 and a 2.
Do you? I have a resources of 4 to 6.
It's always the lowest.
Okay.
So you would get
Okay.
4. And everybody does have a certain number of resources you can spend in mystery. This number is for like you would spend it prior to leaving on said mystery. You got a 1? Nice. So that's 2, 3,
I rolled before. I got 2.
4, 5. All right, so you have 5 resources that you can spend as a group on equipment. So we'll take a break. Did you put the equipment in Discord? I don't recall if you did.
Oh,
All right. Anything else anybody would like to do prior to reaching fallback? Otherwise, that's where we go.
Is fallback after the carriage ride or before?
After. Fallback
Okay.
is where you're going to meet Oscar before you get on the boat.
Okay, what was I gonna do? I was gonna do something between the carriage and the...
Betwixt.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do. So when we got off the train, and as we're getting into the carriage, Sophia would turn to Franzibald. I'm trying really hard, Sean, to give them real names, just so you know.
I appreciate it. I don't think it's going to last, but I appreciate it.
Well, the only reason it's working with this one is because I'm imagining him as being bald.
And he's our friend.
Yeah, bald friends.
His name is Franz. Franz is bald. Franz is bald.
Friendibald. Friendibald.
Franz
Now we've
is
broken it.
bald.
I've already ruined it. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Franzibald, she would, like, getting down off of the train,
Mhm.
like, ask him to help her. And then as they're walking, she's gonna, like, lean pretty heavily on his arm and say, "Oh dear, I couldn't help but notice your pocket watch. It's so lovely. Where did you get that?"
And he just like gets a big grin on his face and pulls it out and shows it to you. Oh, this was a gift from my father, which was a gift from his father, which was a gift from his father. It's beautiful, and he opens it up, and it's like it is. What? It's in his pocket.
Oh no, that's a reference. What's it a
This is
reference
before
to?
that.
I know it.
But TJ gets it. Pulp Fiction.
I kind of get it.
Oh,
What's it?
So now all of a sudden, Franz Bald is voiced by Christian Walken.
Yes.
And now you've
this-
noticed my pocket watch.
This was a gift from my father. I can't do it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's Pulp. It's
he does-
Pulp Fiction. It's a reference to Pulp Fiction.
He does show it to you. It is sterling silver, very ornate, like inscription engraved. It is an extremely nice pocket watch.
Okay, so she's gonna reach into her bag and pull out her opera glasses ridiculously. This is cartoonishly done, and she's going to peer through them at the pocket watch. Oh, I see. It has an inscription. What does it say, dear?
And as you look at that, he kind of like closes it real quick and pulls it to his chest, and his face gets red. Oh, it says, "To my dear Franzi."
But
Is that
the name of your great-great-grandfather?
No, that's what my father called me when I
Oh,
was a little.
Oh, you're so dear. Oh, your
And his
heart.
face just gets like Santa red, like just cheeks just start glowing.
Oh, I want to see if his reaction was genuine, because he could be embarrassed because that's true and he doesn't want people to know they called him Franz, or he could be embarrassed because that's not what it says. I also don't know if I could have read it. I do have opera glasses, but it's not that far away.
You would have definitely been able to read it, and that is what it says. But
Okay, cool.
you can give me a check on that.
Why not? Let's do it. It'll be fun.
You'll be blind if you fail.
Okay, so that would be observation.
It would.
5, 6, 7 D6s. I feel so fortunate to have gotten any successes at all, y'all. I've literally tried to train my dice, and they're like, "Oh, she wants high numbers. 5. That sounds great." I'm like, "Oh, honey, that's still a 0."
So no
Oh,
successes?
hot damn! I got 3 successes.
Oh, you know that you can tell that it is legitimate embarrassment.
I am
And
so
you
glad
get
I got
the
3
impression
successes
that
on
if-
this.
You get the impression that if anybody actually called him Franzi to his face, he would probably explode.
So are you clicker training your dice, or are they food motivated? Like,
I need to figure this out.
I need some more details on how to do this.
All right. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. What I do is I grab 3 of them and I roll them, and the ones who roll 6s get to go aside, and I pet them and tell them they're beautiful, and then the other dice get rolled again, and I do this until all of them roll 6s, and it takes a very long time.
All right. Well,
This checks out.
I'm
I
sorry.
totally believe that.
Me
All right.
too. That sounds very
100% true.
So
I
when
love you so much, DJ.
when Reginald gets up and like walks out, he's like kind of like a big, like tall guy and he's pretty fit, but you notice he walks with a noticeable limp.
All right, is
I'm
there
so
anything? Oh no, go ahead. Debbie.
I'm so tempted to like reach into my bag and pull out a walking stick that's far too tall to have gone in the bag and offer it to him, but I'm not going to.
Oh, thank you. You reminded me. I have my memento is my father's cane, so he's using
Oh,
a cane to walk with us.
Wait, if he's tall as a King Magna?
My father was very tall.
it is a genetic thing. This is not a magic.
Remember,
mystery.
last campaign he was very.
He uses it enough, he gets that hunchback condition.
It was my
Oh no!
father's cane. It's at least one generation higher.
Loser.
It's my father's brother's
Viking
cousin's cousin.
It's made out of whale bone.
Absolutely nothing.
So the only thing else that happens is Sophia would turn to Franz Bald and lean in a little bit as she's leaning on his arm already and say, "It's okay, dear. My father used to call me Sophina, and I always felt so embarrassed by it." And then just like lets him help her into the carriage.
He does so, and he starts to say something, stutters a little bit, and then just does.
Poor Jar.
She's
Well,
trying real hard to like forge a relationship.
Especially when his cheeks are like I said, they're Santa red at this point.
You got a word they're stuck between your teeth too? Painful. Get it? I understand.
Yes, it burns.
Burns.
If he says that aloud, Sophia would turn to him and say, "Oh dearie, they're much better if you just suck on them instead of chewing them. You'll understand when you're older."
I'm willing
Child.
I'm willing to try.
So many ways to take that one.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And she knows it, and she knows it. Just so you know, and she knows it.
All right. Is there anything anybody else would like to do? There.
Merc, knowing.
You can give me a hint.
If you would like one of those help yourself use glasses. Thanks. Appreciate it.
It's okay. It's water.
Hydration. Hydration. Well, we'll take a breather for a second. Just until he gets back, because the next part would be me reading what happens.
Okay.
So I will wait to
Okay.
until he gets back.
So if anyone needs a trip to the urination station, now is the moment.
Urination station, what's your function?
Who's saying that? Who's saying it?
Fail.
No.
You rolled no successes.
What came through the library the other day. I don't know why, it just tickled me so. Like, the title was, conjunctions join things together or some shit like that. And I was just like, and like just the illustrations using it's just like join together with conjunction. Like this is amazing. And then I started singing.
Hooking up words and phrases in closet.
Also, I don't know how many of y'all go outside and like, I don't know,
Outside. Wait.
I know, right? Like touch plants or whatever. But there's lilac. I think of it as the Mother's Day plant because it's usually blooming on Mother's Day. My mom loves lilacs, so we have a lilac in our backyard, and they smell so friggin' good. So if you can just go for a walk, probably someone in your area has a lilac, and I recommend it highly.
Hey,
We always had them growing up, and they were the first flower I was ever able to smell in my entire life. And the only
they're so
flower
good.
I was able to smell until
Nate, would you have?
I smelled other
Patience,
flowers
right?
for the
Patience.
first
Yeah.
time when I was 19. No, 20.
Oh wow.
I'm very allergic to flowers.
Oh really?
Lilacs are yes. If it can get in the air, I'm very allergic to
Would
it.
you grab a
Um,
liquid?
and just lilacs are
container
they're so
holder?
strong that it was able to overcome, get
Uh-huh.
through the layers of snow.
So this is the lilac. I sent a picture of the lilac in our yard because I chose it specifically because it smelled good and I love the color.
Rum.
I was having.
Oh, was it a purple lilac?
It is, yes. Yep.
I think there's the purple and the white. We had
It's not
my
gone.
mom's house back on
It's
North
the-
Fair Oaks.
Mm-hmm.
We had the entire back line on the property was just filled with lilacs. Like
Yeah, the most common one is actually like a pale purple.
bushes. It was a combination of the white and the purple.
Garcias.
Oh, that's nice.
It was so pretty. Then I moved to the west side and I was like, wait, there's like only one lilac bush in this entire neighborhood. What the fuck is wrong with these west siders?
Although I will say that there aren't a lot of lilacs in people's front yards, but I do see a lot of people with oh come on, the really big ones. Oh, this is gonna kill me. All right, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Un momento, por favor.
Oh, I think I know those like tree things. They're not lilacs.
Yes,
But
yes,
they're the ornamental
yes.
trees. Yes, those were huge, but they do not smell as good as lilacs.
No, they don't, but they're
Very-
still really nice.
Yeah,
All right, magnolias.
I mean that. Yes,
Are they
Like-
made of steel?
I know
Well,
exactly
if you
because
like magnolias, you should go to the arboretum because they have like a whole bunch of.
I love. Oh my god, the botanical gardens are so freaking good.
So good. The best I've had.
The best what you've had.
Rum.
Oh, tell me the rum. Tell it to me.
It's Foursquare 2009. It's the best.
Next time I'm angry,
Ooh.
just need to remember this now.
I'm gonna share one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's all very contrived. I give zero shits. It's super fun. All right, come on. Where's the one where she does magnolias? Can I search? Yes, I can. Here we are.
Yeah, I was told that they have a tour guide giving tours of the magnolias, and it's very in depth, like to the point where most people would not want to go that in depth about magnolias. But if you're really into it, you might like that.
I bet the person who gives that tour is a patron of mine at the library.
Yep.
Because good lord, my library attracts.
Oh, Lars and Jill, I have a book I need to recommend to you. You almost got it, but I do have one person who gets all of my first choice off-cast books, and she also fucking loves cats. It's called Kitty Cat Killsat. It's the story of an immortal cat left alone on a space station, and she has to, like, learn how to use the lasers and weapons with no thumbs, and she makes friends with AIs. It is so good. I enjoyed it so much.
Is it from like the perspective of the cat?
Abso-fucking-lutely it is, yes.
That looks
Sounds
like
pretty
your
amazing.
artwork.
What does?
Oh, I just Googled it. And
Aw, that's so
it
nice.
reminds me of your artwork.
Aw, thank you.
You draw kitties like that.
That is, it was such a good book. I really enjoyed every moment of it.
Okay, so I Googled it and underneath there, other books you may enjoy. First other book, Starter Villain.
Yep.
I went on a rant about Starter Villain at work the other day. Someone returned it, and then our book club that night got over, and they all came out and flooded the counter the way it happened.
Aw.
And so I picked up Starter Villain and did a presentation this is Starter Villain. Everything you need to know about it is in this cover. You should read it. Everyone should read it.
How many copies do you have?
Well, I mean, only one, but this wasn't. It's a sci-fi book, and this was not a sci-fi group. So, I knew for a lot of these women, because I know a lot of these women, it was a bit of a reach to try to push them to read a sci-fi fantasy book. But it's so cute, and it's so good. And it's I can't really tell you what the sci-fi aspects are without spoiling things, but it's not what you're thinking, I promise. It's more sci-fi.
I would like, if you would assist me in this, Lee, I would appreciate it. Help me make these people listen to that Dungeon Crawler Carl book, because it is so good and they would love it so much.
We were going to, Nate, on the way over here, Nate said Dungeon Crawler Carl or music. And I said music, and so
Well,
there's a hotel with tag at the top of the house.
Shame.
Libby?
All right, Lee.
Hold on. Libby wants to say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Libby.
Wave, is it? It's
Oh.
Wave at the phone, everybody!
I'm glad that you guys liked the drawing that I showed up.
Oh, man.
So good.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
With your kids and your talent.
We were looking
Back in
for
our
an
day, we
artist
didn't
to
have
post their
text.
stuff
We
at
had
the
rocks, so
library
we were
this
happy
month.
with rocks.
We don't have some
No
anymore.
talent, just rocks. I mean, some of us had some talent with throwing rocks, but that's all.
Hit each other in the heads with them, and the rest of my talents kind of.
But hey, you said you weren't gonna bring that up. I feel really bad about what I did to Joey that day.
All right, Lee, help me out.
I've
Give a
never read or listened to a lit RPG or the genre before, but I'm 3/4 of the way through book 2. And I think I finished book 1 last weekend. So
Yeah,
They are so addictive.
very
All
consumable.
right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they're very consumable, very
Mhm.
easy to listen. Especially once after the first hour and a half, it really you're in it. After the first hour and a half, you kind of get in your groove, and then you're in.
I agree. I've listened to about the first hour and a half.
And I was no,
Yeah.
doing.
So I'm the kind of person
Yeah,
who I daydream, aka fanfic in my head that I don't write down anywhere, about worlds that really draw me in. I have absolutely mentally fanficked about this world so much. I don't know, Lee, if you're the same way.
Yeah,
Pretty
there's some descriptions in this book that I've never in my head pictured things so clearly as listening to this book. Not to spoil, but there's they describe I'll put this. They describe UI elements, interacting with
Yes.
things
Yes.
so vividly that I can just see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fanfic character, her signature spells are Mage Hand and oh, come on, brain. The one where you get to clean things.
Prestidigitation.
That's the one, Prestidigitation. Yep. Those are her signature spells, and she uses them in ways that were not intended but still work. Also, one of the magic items that she got early on was called a library card, so she can read any book.
That fits.
That's
Yep.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Y'all? Yar.
Yar.
have that book in our system.
Yeah, I think it's self-published, or I don't.
Oh,
It's
okay.
so good though. If I had multiple copies, I would give one to Lee. I'd give one to Nate and Jill. I'd give one to Lars.
Apparently, that one guy does all the voices too, which is surprising.
Not all of them. He doesn't do the female voices. He's got a cast, but he does a lot of them. And if you listen to him in real life, he sounds nothing like Carl, and it blows my mind because he does Carl all the time. Anyway,
All right.
recognizing.
All right.
Thank you for adding to my to-read list. It is literally always appreciated, no matter how long the list gets.
All right. So, you arrive at the small fishing village, cowering under the huge mountain range. Exiting the coach, the heat that you have been able to slightly avoid due to the breeze inside of the carriage greets you like a long-lost friend. It is, after all, the middle of summer, and the new moon is almost here. There we go.
That makes sense.
And then I will start down.
It's not me. The silence is fucking deafening.
I'm getting music. You calm down.
It's also probably extremely humid since we're on an archipelago.
I'm also a little curious about the breeze inside the carriage that doesn't exist outside of the carriage.
Well, it's because you're moving.
Carriage is moving.
Yeah.
Carriage is moving. The air movement.
As long as you put
Well,
the
so long
windows
as
It's a
on.
magic carriage. Turning to take in the area around you, you are greeted by what could only be described as a typical fishing dock. The bustle of people moving around you, boarding and leaving ships, and moving cargo makes your senses come alive, which isn't the best thing, as the smell of seaweed and tarred logs, humans, oil, gas, old sacks, food, and fish hit your nose. To those who call the sea home, this is a refreshing scent. To those of you who have spent most of their lives inland, it can be quite overpowering. Turning your gaze across the shining sea, your eyes catch upon the rounded shapes of numerous barren granite islands, increasingly blue the further out you look. Your gaze is pulled... What was that?
Where are the bears at?
They're on Bear Island.
They're there.
Your gaze is pulled away from the sight as you are approached by a man, an austere look on his face, a slender but vigorous young man with short, dark hair in bowl-cut fashion, a hard face, clean-shaven, wearing a black cassock, seemingly unbothered by the heat.
This one looks like a fish. That's a clue.
So Megan is super distracted and basically like dry heaving. All these scents are bringing up very bad memories of her, childhood shoveling out shit.
So Sophia would notice that and lean over and be like, "Oh dear, it is a terrible smell, isn't it? If you're not used to it, here, if you have a hard candy, it can sometimes overwhelm the sense of smell." So she gives you a Werther's original.
It
Out
goes
of the
straight
fifth
to my
po-
pocket
of-
because I'm going fucking green. Especially thinking about getting on a boat as well on top of all this. Just the thought. It's going to be a pleasant voyage, guys.
And Sophia did say she does get motion sickness. She doesn't. That was a lie. Just if anyone was paying even remote attention, she's definitely not motion sick at all.
We getting off the carriage?
Yeah, if you're getting out of the carriage, that's when all of this hits you, and that's when you see this this man in a black cassock begin to walk towards you. As he does approach, both of his hands in front of him, he walks up to Frenzebald and just says, "Welcome to Mr. Fulbecker, Mr. Hansen. Thank you and your companions for coming so quickly. The captain is anxious to be off, so if you'll grab your things and please come on the boat, I can speak to you more about what's going on and answer any questions you may have as we progress through the archipelago."
And you are...
Oh, my apologies. I'm only familiar with Frenzebald here. I am Oscar Unvik. I am the one who wrote the letter that you are responding to. So, but yes, the captain is quite anxious to be off. So if
Very good. The rest of them will see to my things. I'll be on board. I have to walk on board.
So Sophia rushes forward while with her cane, and she once again sandwiches the man's hand between her own, and she says, "Oh, you poor dear, we will help you as much as we can."
he looks at you a bit quizzically at first, but then kind of nods his head. "Thank you, my dear. May God be with you, and I hope that you are able to have as much success as Frenzebald has had in the past."
I really hope that's a good thing.
Londa looks a little nervous and asks, how long is this voyage?
Oh, through the archipelago to Wrecker Isle.
Yes.
It shouldn't be more than a couple of hours.
Couple.
It is. There are a few islands we have to traverse around, but it's just a little. It should be.
Oh, okay. Slowly takes out like a little pocket mirror and just kind of walks off to the periphery. It looks like a pocket case though.
This whole time, Toral's just been kind of like holding a handkerchief over his nose, like clearly not enjoying the fishy smells. And he's like, okay, okay, cool, nice to meet you. Onward to the boat then.
As there's a couple people kind of unloading your things from the carriage. Franzabal just opens up his pocket watch, looks at it like, oh, my first Fika appointment is in 20 minutes. Good luck. If you need anything, the Captain Have is a dear friend of mine. He should be able to help you. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in a day or 2 or 3 or however long it takes you. Good luck. And then he turns around and quickly, like his feet just go, and he just makes his way away.
Making his way.
Making his way downtown.
What was that?
Is somebody in the weak horse?
One of the people is leading the weak horse onto the boat.
What's your horse's name?
Weak. Nope.
It's right there in the name. Veek. I'm sorry, pronounce it correctly. Veek.
Veek. It's Veek. It's a Veek horse.
It's Veek horse. It's very Veek.
So Sophia will hold on to this new person's. I can't remember the name. Their arm.
Oscar.
Ulrich. Oscar. I assume is all right. I would know this based on context clues, but is he planning on joining us on the boat?
Yes. Franzball did tell you that he will accompany you on the boat and to Wrecker Isle. He will basically be your liaison there.
Okay.
Kind of show you around.
So at this point, Sophia doesn't 100% trust this guy, so she's gonna act extra weak and lean on him, and he's got his arm or his hand probably on the inside of her elbow, and she's gonna put her hand on top of it to keep him there because he can't escape, and she's gonna limp her way up into the ship, and she's gonna oh bless your heart, child, as though she's religious even though she's not.
He just pats the top of her hand. Well, our Lord helps all.
Yes, the sparrows and the fishes even. Yes, I know, my dear. And your letter was so eloquent and so well written. I've really never seen anything like it. I do wish to know, is there anything else that wasn't included you might think we need to know?
I believe I included all that I could think of as it related to what's necessary, but I am open to answer any questions if anything has popped up, if the investigative mind of you and your friends have anything was triggered.
My dear, you dear boy, I'm so sorry for your loss. You do understand that we do see the Vaesen, yes?
Exactly. Like that.
That's what it
Well
was.
played.
He kind of looks at you quizzically. You can see that he's taking in the fact that you're old, and he pats your hand again. Is Vaesen one of your relatives?
Oh, you saw the child. Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. No, we see spirits, my dear.
I see the Holy Spirits inside of all God's children as well.
Okay, so this
He
is
smiles
me,
at you.
me out of character learning that other people don't know Vaesen exists.
Franzball did tell you that.
Oh, he did? Okay, all right.
Yes, he specifically said that not everybody has the sight, so you should be careful to tell about it.
I guess I didn't take people not seeing them as people not believing in them, so that's good to know. So, all right, we're gonna. Sophia's gonna switch gears real fast, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm so curious. I do love stories, dear. Would you tell me how our dear boy Franzi helped you in the past?"
Well, it wasn't so. Oh, I've got. Hold on. It wasn't me exactly. Not one of my problems, but it was one of the vicar's issues. In his previous parish, there were some issues with money disappearing and people going missing. So we assumed it was theft. Franzbald was able to help us find where the money was going, and we were able to get it back.
I'm sorry. Whoa, sorry. My out of character mind is blown because the money is gone, the people are missing, but we only care about the money. Thank goodness the money came back. Oh dear, you say there were people missing as well? Well, that's very curious. Is there more to that story?
That was more between the vicar and Franzbald. All I know is it was solved and it stopped happening after him and a couple of his associates came to our parish.
Oh, that's lovely. It's so nice when people stop disappearing, isn't it, my dear? And then she pats your hand really loudly.
The more lambs that we can bring to God's presence is definitely a good thing.
Oh, you are so right, my dear. Would you like a candy? And she gives you Werther's original from pocket number 7.
He takes it. Oh, thank you very much. And then he puts it just in his cassock.
So all of this would have been heard by anyone around us. Would anyone else like to chime in at this point?
I like the old lady, but how many pockets does she really have?
So many pockets. I'm worried that by the end of this I'm gonna have 100 pockets. We'll see. I did not expect the badger scale to go as far as it did, so we'll see how many pockets Sophia has.
Londa would look over to Megan and be like, I'm feeling a bit ill at the moment. Could you load my bags along with Sophia's?
No.
Right.
She's busy tending to all mine.
Keep like seriously, I'm getting our stuff in, but I'm mostly even just being at the dock. That little motion is.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
I am matching Shanishi's color right now.
Oh no, that's not great.
And we're not even away from the dock. But I do kind of manage to get out a bit of a. As someone who does her laundry, it's more pockets in the bank.
Anyone else want to comment or anything while we're?
Yeah, Tor would probably with Megan going like, oh no, I'm not helping right now. Kind of like the guy still kind of trying to keep his nose covered. He's clearly quite affronted by the smell here, but help move whatever things he could. Perhaps using his weak horse to help move things around.
So as is getting
wait, hold on. I just want to say, I imagine if Sophia's bag is loaded on the weak horse, it shudders and falls a little bit.
It tips a bit to the one side.
Right? Yes.
Start
Yes.
to buckle inward.
All right, Sean, as you were.
Oh, so as all the stuff is getting loaded onto the boat, you do see somebody who is an older, weather-worn man with long white flowing hair. He does seem to be directing some of the people around, and as the last of your baggage makes it on the boat, he just walks over to everybody. I'm Captain Have. If you have any questions, I'll be around. Make yourself comfortable. It should just be a couple of hours. And then he just kind of turns around and walks away.
Sophia clutches her heart as though something has struck it and goes, oh my dear, oh, they're always so handsome.
as he turns away, you're saying that as he turns, and he like
Yes.
does hesitation, stops, and then keeps turning and walks away.
And I want to say she's probably much older than him. Even though he's got white hair, she's probably much older than him. What were you gonna say, Jill?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm just hearing her going, "Oh, if I was 20 years younger."
Yes. Ooh, the fun we'd have. Oh.
I did not plan on a grandma love interest being part of this particular adventure, but
There
things
you go.
happen as they happen. So
I love that I'm the asexual of the group, and I'm also the only one who is literally doing any romance options in any RP we do.
So as all the baggage is brought on, the gangplank is brought up, and the boat begins to make its way away from Pobeka through the archipelago. And you have a chance to do any role-playing questions, anything like that, prior to making your way to Record Isle.
How long is the boat trip?
A couple hours.
Couple hours. Okay.
I swear you can trace our path just by my vomit over the side.
Oh.
How turbulent is the?
It is actually extremely calm.
Yeah, which makes this fucking hilarious.
Yes. Sophia would definitely, because she does love Megan like a granddaughter, does offer you some ginger, but and tells you some like pulse points on the wrists to like hold down to help. I know it doesn't help, I'm sure.
Gotta enjoy it. We're really in a calm spot. If we're out in the open ocean, I mean, you'd feel the waves would be this forward and then the back.
Oh,
Oh,
God. And then even more, like everyone thought she was empty, and then like after
And then
2D says
There's a
that, she
beautiful pause. And it rolls to the side.
Oh, and Sophia would see this. Her eyes would narrow slightly and then widen in innocence, and she would go over to Bika and say, "You did seem to enjoy the candies. What do you enjoy eating? What are your favorite foods?" And she would like lead him away to try and like ease his impact on Maria or Megan, not
What
Maria.
my favorite food is? I don't think I've had it yet.
Oh, you would love haddock, my dear. We're going to a place filled with haddock.
Herring.
King of fishes. Herring. We love herring. Whatever. We love the fish.
Herring.
Haddock.
You weren't supposed to figure that out yet.
Haddock. But yeah, she does try and.
At the end, you're gonna pull off the mask, and it's gonna be.
There's a fish, and you pull off the fish head, and there's another fish head underneath it. It's just a different species.
I mean, hey, but if you take it to a movie, you don't have to pay to get it in.
Ooh.
That's what she said.
It's really cool to that.
All right. So, is there any role-playing questions, anything like that?
Do we ever see the handsome gentleman with the long white hair again?
He is making his way around the boat, just making sure all of the workers are doing what they're supposed to. The rigging is good, directions, things like that. So he is. Everybody is on like the deck, moving around during this. Nobody is really going below deck at all. So everybody is available for conversation.
No, I am not.
Everyone except for Megan is available for conversation. Megan is only available for terrible sound effects.
Yes.
Dr. Luftballoons, was it?
Yes.
Do you have some anti-nausea for Megan, maybe?
I do have my my doctor's bag and some medical equipment. I could take a look and see if there's something I could do.
You open it and
I've
it's
got some.
with Werther's originals.
I've got some cocaine. That should make you feel better.
Yeah.
What?
Would I have something that could potentially?
I mean, as long as
Can I-
when it comes to like the smaller stuff that doesn't really affect the campaign,
Yeah.
your call.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So yeah, I'd like reach into my bag and be like, okay, yeah, sure, I have I have like some low grade opium here.
Yeah,
Low
that sounds
grade
like
opium.
the 1800s.
Yeah.
Notice
It's called
on your
cocaine. That low grade opium is cocaine.
Do I need
No,
to say
it's
that
not.
again? I don't know.
Londa,
Opium
you,
down
I'll
as
say,
cocaine smoker.
Doctor, you notice Londa raises their eyebrows a little bit at the note of opium.
Probably said this,
So-
but what kind of ship is it? Like, is it like a passenger?
The
ship?
three-method schooner.
It is more of a passenger ship. It doesn't really seem like it's not really long sea voyages. I would
Just
say
made for like ferrying people
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
The three-mast.
I know
The
boats.
first mast is 4. Second mast
How's
is midnight.
How's the weak horse handling this?
I don't know. How is your weak horse handling this, Dr. Tiny Cat?
Great.
He's freaking loving it.
He's better than Megan.
No, he's at the bow, like doing the Titanic,
Yeah.
reaching his head out, and his hair is flowing in the wind. Yep.
Just for a moment, he doesn't look like
Yep.
a weak horse anymore.
No. No.
It's like he's remembering back to a past life
Oh, I'm dying. That's so good.
or a future life.
A seahorse.
Nice.
I'm so glad I was with you.
So every time the captain with his flowing white locks comes on stage, Sophia would turn to him and like just not swoon, but she would be like, oh dear, oh look, and she would put her hand like as though she, you know how you as a lady you might put your hand on a gentleman's arm, but she puts it on his biceps instead of his arm, like, and she's like, oh, you're so strong, my dear. Oh, how lovely for you.
He and every time you do that, he like pats your hand and he goes, "Lifetime at sea, ma'am," and then he would go away. Like,
He would say, what at sea?
A lifetime at sea, ma'am.
Lifetime at sea, okay. And every time he did it, she would giggle a little and go, oh. I wonder if he likes Werther's originals.
Sure, he'll find out.
We're definitely gonna find out. She's slipping them in his pocket every time, but she doesn't tell him, and he may not notice. And the pockets are always very close to his hips, shall we say?
Hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie.
One of the times that the captain comes around, Reginald kind of walks away with him to approach him and asks, "How often do you ferry people to Wrecker Isle?"
Occasionally, but not very often. Most people who go to Wrecker Isle are herring fishermen, so most have their own modes of transportation. We'll be lucky to find a berth when we get there, but occasionally somebody will want to go out there for family or visiting the inn or attempting to have business with the Edmondsons. It's not our main source of income.
All right, I'm gonna pause here because I don't want there to be like a mismatch in what you said before and now. This was
Yes.
a passenger ship, but passengers don't come this way.
Not to Wrecker Isle specifically.
Okay, so maybe other places in the archipelago.
Yes,
makes
he's specific
sense.
because
Okay.
he was
All right.
specifically asked about taking people to Wrecker Isle, so he was answering
Okay.
this specific path is
All right,
not
thank you.
a normal thing.
You haven't heard of anything interesting happening in Wrecker Isle lately, have you?
He kind of looks over at Oscar and just kind of like nods at him. I know his Carl killed himself,
He's called.
but other than that, just your normal fishermen getting drunk and beating the hell out of each other. Other than that, nothing that I would consider interesting.
What's a Carl?
It's Vicar Carl Eric Hedquist.
Okay, so this is the guy the letter's about. Other
Yes.
than that guy killing himself.
Other than
Okay,
that
thank you.
particular gentleman killing himself.
All
Yeah,
right.
he hasn't noticed anything that he would consider noteworthy. But I should also say I don't go to Wrecker Isle very often. The Edmondsons and me, I prefer to avoid them. Onmundsons.
Yeah, okay.
The herring royalty.
Yeah.
The herring royalty. The kings of fish. The tuna kings.
Oh, no, like the red herring, don't worry.
Kings of the ocean.
That's what he says every night before he gets to bed.
Sean gets the reference.
I do.
Thank you for the information.
I don't know much about the family.
But I know
I try to avoid coming out here, like I said, but if you want to know anything in particular, and then he kind of looks over at Oscar. He's gone out with the vicar occasionally, but unfortunately, the vicar did know the most. Then he kind of nods and makes his way. I'm sorry, unless you want to do
Well, he tries to make his way somewhere, but Sophia, who is literally magneted onto his every gesture and speech, has been listening to this conversation. No one is surprised. She goes to him and again acts as though she needs his help to like hold herself steady, but she instead just like leans on his arm, and she says, "Oh, you avoid this area, my dear? Oh my goodness! Are there stories? Why do you avoid this area?"
He pats your hand as he helps you along and just shakes his head. The Edmondsons are too wealthy and they know it. They just rub me the wrong way. I prefer to avoid it. Besides, too many people get drunk at their tavern, and I don't like my men behaving in that fashion.
Oh, of course, you dear boy, you dear child. Oh, yes, it's a very reasonable reaction.
What's up, everybody?
Go ahead, Jill.
I was gonna say, just so everybody knows, my headcanon here is you are basically acting like the dean, and this Captain Hyde is Jeffrey from Community.
Is the dean the one who is like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me?
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Okay.
Shadow.
Yes. All right. Actually, you know what? The way he acts and the way he moves, yes. Please imagine Sophia doing all of those things.
Perfect.
Yes. So she leans in and God, you said something and I've lost it now.
All right.
Dementia.
No. Yeah, I know exactly. Oh God, Alzheimer's is happening, and now no. So she's like, oh, I've never really heard that you could be too rich. That's a thing. Tell me what you mean, please.
They've just got so much money from their herring saltery. It's
Herring is so nice.
I'm not a fan particularly.
No, you haven't had my herring stew, have you? Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Well, maybe I'll have to try your herring at some point.
Euphemism.
Megan tries to aim her vomit a little more personally.
Oh my God. I love so much that I don't mean the double entendres, but I do want Sophia to mean them. So I love that you point them out.
Reginald
Anyway.
goes over to Oscar and would you like to take a walk over the other side of the boat?
Of course.
Give us some privacy.
His hands are in front of me. He just nods. Of course, my child. What can I do for you as you begin to make your way across the bow?
So how well did you know the vicar?
I have studied under him for the majority of my adult life, the past 15 years. He was a great man, and it's a tragedy what those devil mongers did to him. Don't believe anything you've heard. He would not have killed himself. I know they did something, and they must pay for it.
And did you say he was there like ministering to them?
He was trying to get not only the Onmundsons, but all of the lost souls that would come there to turn their lives back over to Christ, as they should. He would go there, he would minister, and he would be berated and kicked out. But he always went back because he was committed, as we all should be, to saving their souls.
Is anybody receptive to him, or you just kind of just everybody kicked him out?
He's been trying for years at this point, but occasionally he would get somebody who would talk to him about our Savior, but he was not as successful as he has been in other places.
Out of character, did we hear what Oscar does? Is he a priest?
He's a priest as well, yeah.
Oh.
He's got like the black cassock and he's got the friar tuck bowl cut.
Oh, good.
And how long have you been a priest, father? Is father the right?
I would just say the priest.
Sounds so good.
Call me priest. I've been a full priest for the last 7 years, but I've been studying under the vicar for 15, 16 years now.
It's a long time. That must have been really hard.
He was like a father figure. He brought me to our Lord and Savior and showed me what you could be. And I have tried to take his teachings and preach them beyond, which is why it is so unfair that his life was cut short by these terrible people.
And do you both minister in the same church? Are there multiple churches in the area?
We both have our home in the chapel in Falvaca, but we minister not only to all of the isles in the archipelago, but further in as well. He came out to Wrecker Isle once a month around that, but he went many other places as well. He has spread the word of God far and wide, as he should.
Thank you for all the information. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I just want these evil devil worshippers to be brought to justice, so the light can be shown on their den of sin. So anything else I can answer for you, I will try. But once we get there, I will show you where he was found, where it happened, and hopefully we can find something that the authorities have missed.
And Reginald just kind of makes his way, kind of like walking along the. So there's like an outer deck of the ship.
Yeah, like railing and stuff like that.
So what does our gorgeous white-haired captain do in the meantime?
He. Now I'm thinking of like Fabio, but with wrinkles and white hair. He is captaining. He's
Captaining?
going around. He's giving orders. He is making his presence known. But
All right. Because my character would have followed him. Were we close enough to hear the conversation that just happened?
it sounded like Reginald was trying to get Oscar away from everybody else. So I would say probably not.
Okay.
You would have seen him gone off like to the railing away from people, but I don't think anybody would have heard it.
So Sophia would probably have released the poor captain from his captivity and gone back to talk to Reginald. Did you learn anything, my dear? What I saw you speaking, and is there anything you learned?
Nothing super helpful, unfortunately.
Oh, what a shame. Anything not helpful?
Sure, yeah. A few things not helpful.
Wait, say that again? Because if that was a response, I didn't hear it.
So, sure, a few things not very helpful.
Oh, that's lovely, dear. Sometimes not helpful things are surprisingly helpful. What did you learn?
Nothing much. Just that they work together at the church in Felbaka. If you'll
Oh,
excuse me, I'd like to get some walk and some sea air.
Oh, my dear, are you also suffering from some, motion sickness from the sea? You should know we have Dr. Tiny Cat aboard, and he would love to help you.
That's good to know, madam. Thank you, but I'm fine.
Oh, that's so good. I've personally, I have felt.
Mid-conversation.
I've also felt the effects of motion sickness, and it is so terrible. I'm so sorry. However, I wish for you to know it can be helped. You can go to the doctor, Tiny Cat, and he will help you.
I can just imagine you, like, your voice increasingly rising as he's walking away from you.
Yes,
just getting
exactly.
louder and louder.
That is how they do it in the library.
Are you staying, or are you staying like where you are?
Oh, I'm definitely staying. I'm not following.
Okay.
I mean, I see you have vision to Captain Hunk.
Captain Hunk. Sean is like, oh my god, I did not expect any of this. It's fine. It's
Oh.
fine.
Cav is not that far away from Hunk, so I suppose it's not that big of a reach. All right, is there anybody else?
Well, you want more, Sophia? Come on.
I would love to do a thing.
So, please do.
So Tora would like check in with the captain, just like kind of talk and just be like, so how many bodies do you have aboard? Like how many, like what do you have on the crew? What do we have for people on the ship right now? Numbers. Talk numbers, please.
He just kind of looks at you. Well, our normal crew is 15. Got 14 now because one was sick or just met somebody who was pretending. But we left him back at Felbaka.
So we should have, was that 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 people on this ship right now?
It's quite astute of you.
The fucking math. Look at the math. It just happened. I wish for the meme of the math things floating to happen right now.
Should be 21. Forgot to count the captain.
Counting the captain is the 21.
21.
So like I said, like Tora would thank him for his time and for his information and make a note of his stats.
He'll pay for that.
And then go about just wandering the boat, counting the number of individuals he sees.
Okay.
All right.
I will say it takes you about 15 minutes before, as people are crossing paths, but it does reach the correct number that you are assuming.
How many times does he lose count though? To start over.
Dr. Tiny Cat, how many times do you lose count?
0.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Mine like a steel trap.
Wow. So yeah, exactly. Because I have face blindness like you would not believe, so I would count the same person several times.
Really hope they're all wearing different outfits.
That's why you're not a doctor, old lady.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody would like to do prior to arrival?
If this was like a murder mystery thing, I would be totally convinced that Sophia was the murderer.
Still time. Dr. Lockwood.
Oh, I was unmuted. I laughed really loud. I hope it came across. It was
it did.
hilarious to me.
It did.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, in that case, even from far away, you can tell that you are approaching Wrecker Island. You can see countless fishing boats and freighters moored far out in the sea lane, bow to stern. You can hear shouting sailors and snapping sails and smell the sour stench of herring and train oil spreading like disease in the gentle breeze. As you come closer to the island, you notice a yellow building. absolutely massive for such a small island. Next to it are 2 other wooden buildings, also quite large, but still dwarfed in comparison. The stench and the bustle grow more and more intense the closer you get to the island. The large dock you arrive at is extremely crowded. Sweaty fishermen and sailors are hauling barrels of herring and train oil between boats and the quay.
Oh my!
A full-rigged ship on its way to other ports is about to head out, and a swarm of smaller schooners and barges compete for the space left behind by the large vessel. A number of small dinghies move about to transport people and goods between the dock and the numerous ships floating offshore. You can see that Wrecker Island seems to be home to only 3 buildings. Your eyes move to the largest of the 3 first, a huge yellow warehouse dominating the harbor and easily dwarfing the other 2 buildings. Your eyes then move to a large, beautiful, 2-story wooden residence whose decadence seems out of place on the island. Lastly, you see a sturdy wooden 2.5-story building that houses the island's only inn. Eventually, you're able to make your way to a vacant berth, and as you dock, Oscar begins to wave you to follow him as they put down the gangplank and begin to make their way ashore.
Is the handsome captain in attendance?
He is moving around, making sure everybody's doing their job to make sure the boat docks safely. But he is on the boat.
Sophia would go to him and be like, "Oh, could you help me please down the plank? I'm so worried about, my hips, my knees, my hips, my knees."
He just kind of looks around at all the other people, all the other workers in the boat, and then puts out his arm and leads you down the gangplank.
And instead of, again, holding onto the lower part of his arm, she reaches for his biceps and is like, "Oh, my dear, oh," and then says nothing else and walks down the plank.
All right. Oscar did get off the boat first, so he is kind of waiting for you on the dock.
I'm not sure who got off first. I think I beat him. I think I beat everyone off the boat, and I'm just kind of now sitting on the dock.
That seems fair.
There's a lot.
All right. So, what is everybody doing?
So Sophia will, as she walks down the plank, pretending that her knees and her hips are all bad, she'll be like, "How often do you come here, my dear? Is this a common place for you to come?"
Well,
It was, but I'll never be back.
Thankfully, we don't have to come here too often.
Well, thank. That's a very interesting way to phrase it. Why? Oh, my dear, oh, you dear child. Why is it thankfully you don't come here very often?
I don't like my men getting mixed up with the type of riffraff that drink at that inn. And he kind of nods to the building.
Oh, my dear. Oh, there's a riffraff at the inn? Oh, my goodness. What kind of riffraff?
The sailor kind that drink too much.
Oh, that's terrible. I could not understand you more. I'm so sorry that this is a thing that your men may fall prey to. They put these up and it's so hard.
I'm glad you appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm dying. So hard inside. What sort of temptations do they come to in these inns?
He just kind of looks at you. There's a lot of liquor and beer.
Oh, it's the alcohol. Oh, the demon of alcohol. I understand entirely, my dear. Oh, you precious child.
Which
Wanda, once getting off the boat, is like, "I'm sold. Who wants a drink?"
All right, and then Torel.
Hi.
You were saying something.
I go get off the boat.
Off the boat.
To myself from my whatever position where you pretty much lay back and just doze the last 3 hours, 4 hours trip. Upon
He
getting off the ramp, when he says, "I'm sold, where's the drink?"
Seems like
And
Lead on, good sir.
and Sophia like puts her claw like almost skeletal grasp on his hand, on her arm, and is like, what would you recommend for us? Where should we avoid? Please tell us what we should avoid.
Are you asking the captain?
Yeah.
He looks at you. He looks at the 3 buildings. He's like, well, that's the saltery, so you probably don't want to go there. And then he points, that's the Unmunson's house, so you're probably not going to want to go there. He points at the tavern. If you want something to eat or drink, or a place to stay, that's it.
Weird house.
Oh,
I thought the
bless
residence was like a hotel or something.
No, that's our actual house.
Yeah.
Bless you. Oh, thank you so. You are so helpful. If only you knew how much I appreciated you. If you could. Why? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying he kind of taps your hand and starts to pull away. I have to tend to the boat. If you all need anything, feel free to come back. But we'll be waiting here for you until you're ready to depart.
Yeah, she definitely grabs his hand and doesn't let him pull away. And then it's like, why should we avoid these places? What do you know? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so old. Please help me.
Well, he points to. He said, "Well, that's their house, so probably shouldn't go in there. And that's the saltery. And unless you're working or dropping off fish, that's probably not safe. So
What's dangerous about salting fish, my dear? I've cooked so many fish, I just don't understand.
I'm pretty sure you don't work here, ma'am. So I don't know if they'd want you in there."
Oh, thank you for your kindness. You're so nice. I appreciate you so much. And then she gives from pocket number, I don't know, 18, whatever we're at now. She pulls a Werther's original and gives it to him, and then like on her cane, like weakly stumbles her way towards the inn.
Londa would be noting in like a little pocket notebook, just like residence, warehouse, approximate number of inhabitants, name of the inn. Does the inn have a name, by the way?
Not that you've been told.
Just take a couple notes as they're walking towards the inn with like a knapsack backpack.
All right. Oscar is leading
Oh, okay. Yeah,
towards the end.
While
As everybody kind of comes together, he does kind of wave everybody towards him as he slowly makes his way to the end.
And I will say that both Londa and Megan are very aware of what's happening with Sophia, but everyone else may be like, this weird old woman is just being weird.
the routine.
Yeah, I know. I'm absolutely laughing up my sleeve, loving this.
So as everybody kind of comes together, Oscar looks at you all. If you will come with me, the inn is probably the best place to get any information on the island, and hopefully that as well. I warn you all, this is a den of sin, so guard your souls. And he kind of turns and starts to walk towards it.
And Sophia pretends to like do the whole like up, down, left, right, cross thing. Just it's not genuine, but it may seem genuine to someone who's looking for it.
So he makes his way and he gets to the front door. Is everybody following him, or are you guys doing anything else?
Where's he going?
We're just following.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to the den of sin. Weren't you listening?
No, that was kind of the point. Is he said drinks, nothing else mattered. Wherever he's going, because it sounded like he offered a drink. Let's do it.
All right. So you can hear the chatter before you even open the door. Lively chatter and laughter grease you as the door is pushed open. You are greeted first by a huge cloud of tobacco smoke, followed as it clears by the sight of a large open tavern. Sailors sitting at folding tables, playing cards and drinking liquor or beer. A large fireplace sits in the middle of the opposite wall, crackling and providing a warmth you can feel from the doorway. You see 3 waitresses moving between the tables with a fluid grace of dancers, avoiding the moving chairs and flailing arms of the patrons. Oscar kind of turns back to everybody. If you want a room for the night, you'll need to speak with, and then he pauses for a second. You can just see like a look of anger across his face. The godmother, abuela. And he points to a woman, he points to a series of large liquor barrels sitting in the corner of the room, atop of which sits an older woman, face creased with old age and sun, harsh eyes scanning the room, a shotgun sitting across the top of a large apron, stained with filth to the point that you wonder if it would stand up on its own. And then he just turns back to all of you. I will get us a table and see if I can find somebody who I trust to give answers to your questions. And then he kind of turns and makes his way.
Skullduggery and fisticuffs await.
I want to mention out of character. I can't see Bill.
I don't really exist.
That's fair. You weren't existing earlier. I just want to say it in case you make. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Okay. Hi, look at this. That's a Bill. Look at a Bill. There's hair. There's a Bill.
How do you know I'm not just a fathead sitting in a chair?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We look more like this.
Okay. So we are now in an inn, which is apparently a den of sin.
Londa would look to Megan again and kind of like gesture with like a fistful of Swedish kroner or whatever. Be like, Megan, could you get us a round of drinks, please?
I love how insufferable you are. Just so you know, I love it so much.
No.
Yoink!
Right. Oh, TBD. Thank you.
Of course. Off I go to the nearest bar.
Wait, I'm sorry.
There isn't necessarily a bar. There's a bunch of tables with waitresses.
What did Londa ask for?
Drinks. Around.
Okay. All right.
Nearest serving lunch.
18 tables. What?
Nearest serving lunch.
16, you are correct. You do.
He doesn't even look to see if there's like a bar. He's just like, what's a drink?
Oscar is getting you a table, but you do see like I said, there are 3 waitresses kind of making their way. One does pass in front of you with like a tray full of empty glasses.
Is there anyone Sophia would consider an easy mark?
Probably more than enough for like.
Depends. Easy mark for what?
Just
because there's easily 24 sailors in various.
Okay.
Tables.
So she's not looking for sex. She's looking for information about what might have gone on. So she's looking for people who are native to this area and who are potentially sad or lonely.
Give me an observation check. I will say you wouldn't be able to tell if anybody is native to the area because you're not native to the area.
Okay. So observation is.
Okay, so you roll that, Bill.
As the serving lass is passing, we stand beside her, stand in front of her, and then move to the side as she's continuing forward and said, -2 of however many he gave me. Those 2 have disappeared into my pocket. What can we get for this as a group?
She stops with her tray, looks at you, looks around. If you want to grab a table, I'll be over in a minute. And then she keeps going.
Please try and use Werther's originals as payment. I did get 3 successes, which is shocking.
I will say nobody seems sad. Everybody seems to be either having conversations, playing cards, laughing. You do notice that there might be some simmering anger, but there's like not somebody like sitting in a bar with his head down depressed. Everybody seems to be enjoying themselves to different extents.
I hate that I got 3 successes on a useless check. Thank you.
You're welcome. Regular roll matter if you get 1 or 3.
I would not usually. Some will give you more. It's kind of like in D&D if you pass the difficulty check by a bunch. the DM might give you more information, but usually the check will specifically say that you can get more with additional successes. But for the majority of them, it's just like if you succeed, you succeed. You don't.
That's fair.
My assumption was if there was someone really interesting at the bar, I would have noticed it for 3 successes.
I will say, none of the patrons, but you do notice a pair of heavyset men, identical in almost every way. Excuse me. They look to be in their late 40s, mid 50s. You see that they are both wearing a black shirt, gray pants, charcoal suspenders. They have receding hairlines, and you can tell as they smile and talk that they have extremely poor dental hygiene, and they're even missing the same front tooth. They're wandering around the tavern, sometimes talking and laughing with patrons, sometimes slamming their hands down on the table to quickly correct any disagreement that seems to be escalating too quickly. They definitely do not seem to be patrons.
So quietly to herself, Sophia goes, "Oh my, twins." And then like she clutches at pearls that aren't there and then goes up to talk to one of them.
Okay. As you make your way to find one of them, anybody else doing anything?
We'll make his way towards the table when it's found.
All right. You do see that Oscar has found himself a pair of folding tables, kind of pushed them together, grabbed some stools, and is waving everybody over to him.
Or we'll head right over.
Yep, you do.
Having failed in searching out the booze, I also join them.
Same.
Okay, so everybody kind of sits down at the table.
Wait, except for Sophia.
Yes, let's say as Sophia is still making her way, moving around patrons to try and get to one of these gentlemen, Oscar does kind of lean into the table and just, if you want honest answers, you'll probably want to speak to Justina. And he looks over at one of the waitresses, and he kind of waves. You see his hand up, and as she turns and looks at him, she has a stoic look on her face, and her shoulders kind of sag a little bit. And then she nods, and she begins to make her way over. I've known her most of my life, and if anybody in this bastion of sin will give us honest answers, it's her. So she's making her way over, and then we will continue with Sophia. All right, you do manage to make your way to one of these gentlemen. So you are within earshot of him.
All right. So she looks old and frail, and she's got her cane, and she's kind of hobbling up, and she says, "Oh, my dear." And so he's a worker here, right? That's what she's sussed out.
That's what you suspect.
So she will say, "Oh, this place is so wonderful. Have you worked here long?"
He, as he hears you, his head kind of perks up, and he turns, and you see one of his hands is on his hip, and the other hand is sitting on the butt of a small pistol, sticking out of his belt. And he just kind of looks you up and down, his head tilted to the side. My family owns this place.
Oh,
So I've
that's
been here.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's not bad. Can I do something for you, ma'am? You're not, I don't usually see your kind around here.
Oh, bless you, child. Oh, you're so nice. Look at how kind you are. No, we are here because we heard there was a horrible thing that happened. Perhaps you've heard of it.
What horrible thing?
Oh, I'm so sorry if you haven't heard of it. There was a man. He washed up on the beach, and he was dead.
And he kind of tilts his head back and laughs. You mean that vicar who shot himself in the head? Yeah, it's a damn shame. He's not here to bother us anymore.
It was bothering you? I'm so sorry to hear it. Please tell, how was he bothering you?
He came in here
I
once.
don't know if I'm Irish. I really can't handle accents. Y'all
I
know about
am
me.
very used to your accent kind of
Wandering.
Yep, it's a wandering
Croydon.
accent. It's fine.
He kind of just
All over.
he leans back. He'd come here once a month and wouldn't shut his damn mouth about his god. Bothering our patrons and to kick him out every time. I'm just glad that he finally is gone.
Once a month? That's such a strange time period. Don't you think? Why would you do less or more? Once a month? Do you know anything about why it would be once a month?
Because we're unlucky.
Unlucky? I've heard that. I heard that he was unlucky. What is this area unlucky? My dear, my boy, my precious
He's
child.
just giving you a quizzical look. The only thing unlucky about this place is that bastard coming in and once a month and running his mouth. Other than that, we're doing just fine now.
Oh, that's so good to hear. You know, there are places where it seems like they're unlucky all the time. I can't help the wandering accent. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's
But
beautiful. I love it.
thank you so much. Is that really the only unlucky thing? Have you heard any stories?
He just kind of looks at you. I've heard that I need to get back to work. If you're gonna buy something, find yourself a table and order some food. Looks like you.
Oh, bless.
And then he just kind of nods and turns around and walks away.
And as he's walking away, she goes, "Oh, bless you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. You see, is that your brother over there?"
He looks. Yeah. And then turns around and walks away.
Okay, yeah, she lets him walk away, and then she goes to the brother. "Oh, hello, dearie. How are you?"
All right, we will pause there, and then back to the table. The waitress finally makes her way over, kind of leans down. What can I get you folks?
What's your specialty?
And she looks at you, looks at Oscar, looks back at you, looks around. We've got herring, dear. We've got beer, aquavit, liquor. What would you like?
As much beer as this will get us. Except for this one. It's free.
Thank you. Beer. Anything else for anybody?
Take an aquavit.
Aquavit? Yes. Anything else?
Several pitchers. Glasses.
Of course.
I'll
be right back. And she kind of looks at Oscar, looks across the bar, across the inn, and then kind of makes her way away. A couple minutes later, while the conversation is going on with the brother.
I've always wanted to do that. I've never actually had enough to actually just say, get as much beer as this is worth.
She
After
comes
that boat trip, it just
she comes back and she puts the drinks and puts a couple of small hairy platters on the table for everybody. There is like little bits of herring served in different ways, and there are two like full fish, head and all, that she puts one in front of Reginald and one in front of Toril, and then just kind of leans down and looks over at Oscar. What are you doing here, Oscar? You're not going to cause a scene, are you? And he leans back.
Oh,
He leans back. Justina, these people are here to help solve the case. What happened to the vicar? And she just rolls her eyes. You know what happened to him. It's like, no, they're here to help. They're going to ask some questions. Would you please answer them honestly? And she looks at you guys, looks at across the way. Just make it quick. And you turn to follow her gaze, and she's looking at the godmother.
I like her shotgun too.
It's useful at times.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Bill?
It's useful. Oh,
I like her shotgun too.
Okay, fair enough.
Not a euphemism. Not a euphemism.
I'm sure it's not. They
Shut
never. No, it's fine.
With
Yeah.
that bag.
I have to ask. It sounds like folks weren't a fan of the vicar around here. Do people on this island follow a particular faith?
She kind of. I mean, everybody here is Christian in some fashion or another. And then as she says that, Oscar just goes, kind of leans back. But everybody follows their own version of it. People weren't happy with the Vicar's enthusiasm when he would come. Especially not, she nods her head, Godmother and the triplets.
So you'd say they had a vicar with the vigor
Chalice from the palace.
who was full of vigor?
They would kick him out eventually. Every time he came, he would start off not too noisily, but he would always get to a point where he made so much of a ruckus that they would have to kick him out.
I'd like to do a vigilance.
Describe this. I am legitimately interested, not just.
Did you say I would like to do a pugilance?
Vigilance. Actually, before we. I just want to.
Vigilance.
I'm just trying to judge how I want to say like nervous, anxious,
Uh,
afraid this
that
line of questions are. Just
would
those
be an
surface-
observation check, I think.
Observation. Oh, empathy. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do an observation check,
No,
and then
that's
looks at Toral and she's like, it would usually end up with him climbing on a table and preaching the gospel to a point where either the brothers or Zacharias or the godmother would have to physically remove him. And then Oscar leans forward. He was trying to spread the word of God to these heathens.
Oh, that's really annoying.
I got 1 success.
Once it does, you do notice that she is nervous, but you notice that her eyes keep moving over to the godmother. And then she kind of she answers the question, and then she says, I'll be back in a minute. I have to continue to do my job, but you can ask more when I return. And then she makes her way away. And then Sophia pops up to the other brother.
How far away from all that was Sophia?
You were at
Could
least
you hear it?
not with. There's a lot of talking and ruckus going on. Like it is pretty loud. It is a lively tavern.
Okay, so she would sidle up. She would limp up, sidle limp up to the other brother, and touch his biceps because that's what she does. And she would say, "Oh, such a strong young man. Oh, we're so lucky to have you. Did you hear about the terrible tragedy?"
So as you touch him, he kind of he jerks really quick, and you can see that his hands go up to a fist. And as they do,
Fist design. Let's go.
a pocket watch drops out of his hand and kind of swings. And then he looks at you, sees what it is, picks it back up, and kind of twirls it in his hand and looks at you. What are you doing here?
Oh dear, you're such a nice boy. All right, is the pocket watch familiar? Is it got a green gem that the other pocket watch had?
It does not.
Okay. So it's weird that the pocket watch fell out, but she's gonna file that away and just say, "Oh, there was a death, my dear. Did you hear about it?"
He kind of looks at you for a second. You can see that he's searching very hard in his brain. And then he stops and he kind of smirks. Oh, you mean the vicar? Yeah, terrible shame. Terrible shame. It's tragedy. Awful. Awful.
Awful, awful. All right, I'm sorry. I have to pause for a moment and do something out of character because did you ever hear the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise
the Wise.
Yes. I just want to point out that was brought up recently in my work because that was what someone put as their first name in a comment was the Tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise. And everyone was like, what the hell is going on? So I gave a link to it. And yes, I don't know why.
People don't understand. It's not a tale
It's
that
not-
Jedi would tell you.
No.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Is it possible to
Exactly.
Would it be possible? I have kind of a in character, out of character question for the group. So we're kind of doing a little bit of investigative work here, right? We're asking
Right.
questions.
Uh-huh.
I know, right? Would anyone think that the way, at least like one of the groups here, like a hook we could use to get into that would be like we're like writing a travel book or something, like want to write like an article about the island. We're doing something like rather than like, hey, this guy was murdered. What's the deal? Like, you want to talk to like the godmother. What happened with the dead guy? Or like, hey, we're trying to do some tourism thing from the universe. I mean, it might be a good angle.
I think that's a good idea. Except the vicar kind of already told people that.
Yeah, he's got, which I think he would do anyways, because we might not let him know. So we might be like.
I will say, Oscar he entered and he went right to the table. So the only person that he has talked to is you and Justine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far.
So I would say this is definitely an angle that Sophia would take because that's her shtick is she's trying to write this book. So she would definitely lean in and be like, "Oh, my dear, it's so." I feel like I'm Mrs. Doubtfire in this. It's fine.
Hello, dearie.
Oh, my dear. God, now I can't do any accents at all. It's so bad. Okay. There seems to be a bit, or just a little bit, of suspicion around what happened to the vicar. I know he wasn't loved, but it seems a bit odd, doesn't it, to you? Perhaps, are there any stories or tales of the area?
I mean,
Thank
it's not that odd that a person that annoying would want to relieve the rest of us of his presence.
Oh, was he very annoying, my dear?
He wouldn't shut his damn mouth.
Oh, that's so... I hate it so much when someone won't stop talking. I can't imagine what it must be like when someone won't stop talking.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. I sympathize so much with you, you child, you sweet southern child.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
Was there any suspicion around was there anything that was weird or odd?
It's odd it took him as long as it did.
Oh,
the rest of us would have liked him to do it years past.
Oh, I see. I understand. Please don't take this the wrong way, because I do understand when you see someone who won't stop talking. They just keep talking over and over again.
Yeah, when people won't shut their mouth, sometimes you just want them to kill themselves. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Oh, yes, your heart, my dear. So what's going to happen now that he's gone?
The rest of us are going to live in a lot better.
Oh, was he suppressing your ability to live better?
He was annoying the hell out of us. So yes, he was.
He was annoying. In what way was he annoying, my dear?
Right.
He wouldn't. He kind of leans down a little bit, smiles, missing tooth. He wouldn't stop talking.
Oh, it's the worst thing in the world, isn't it, when someone won't stop talking?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
It
Bless
is.
you. What's your name, my dear?
I'm Pete.
Oh, Pete, it's so good to know you. My name is Sophia. Oh, if there's something that you could tell me, I would love to know. But I do think I need to go back to the table now. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
You probably should.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
What was that?
Is his brother named Grapey?
Did he fall out of a boat?
I don't know.
All right, so as you walk away, he keeps twirling the pocket watch. He looks at you, looks at the other twin, looks back at you, and then kind of goes back to what he was doing.
Okay, is there anything I can do to sort of examine the pocket watch without being obvious about it?
Is that up? I feel like observation is the new perception where I just tell you to do it all the time.
I know, right? But I do feel like this is not the first pocket watch of import, although the other ones seem to be a very disappointing, oh, here's a nickname I don't love.
No, I would say this one you are able to notice that it is gold, and
Okay.
it does have a red hawk emblazoned on the outside of it.
Okay. And then Sophia would hobble in a very painful looking way back to the table and then down an entire mug of beer like it was nothing.
All right, so she comes back to the table at basically the same time that Justina comes back and kind of leans down another couple of mugs of beer, drops them off, and kind of leans down with her back to the godmother and just kind of looks around the table. Please don't cause trouble.
Oh, we would never, my dear. We are such a nice group of people. Oh, we would never. Can you tell me a little bit? We heard there was someone here named the Godmother, and we wish to know more about her.
She kind of looks at you and looks at Oscar, just nods a little bit back. She's sitting over there, watching. She's... While Zacharias runs things, she is in charge in a different way.
Oh, that's so lovely. And then she would turn to Megan, who she is the closest to. Actually, you know what? She knows that Reginald was a cop type person. So maybe she would be like, oh, excuse me, Reginald, would you please help me over? I wish to say hello to the godmother.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I also walk with a limp.
Oh, but you do on the other leg, my dear. Together we are a whole person.
Reginald, trust me, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. She'll be fine. Just go with it.
Reginald, quite obviously, reluctantly gets up and walks over with her.
And Sophia turns back and says, "Oh, is anyone else coming?"
No, but as you guys leave, I'm going to turn to Justina and please, can you make sure that there's at least 2 mugs of beer for Miss Sophia when she gets back?
She looks at you. She looks at Sophia. She looks back at you.
Trust me, at least 2.
I can do that.
Thank you.
All right, so as you two make your way over to the godmother.
Is anyone else coming, just to be fair?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, so then back at the table.
Londa
Okay.
would go, but they'd have their little notebook out.
I can see Londa like tagging along behind with it.
I know, right? Like, maybe
Just
someone
notes
could
for
hold on to
the-
Sophia's other arm. She's
Notes
holding
for the
her arm
draft.
out as though she wants someone to help the other arm. It's an invitation if anyone wants to come.
Londa doesn't really pick up on.
Oh, if no one else takes that, then I will be stepping up to to help my Miss
What was the
Sophia.
bartender's, the waitress' name again?
Justina.
Justina. Apparently we're supposed to be asking questions. So just, since, let's just assume the vicar didn't kill himself. Who here would want to kill him?
Motive! Oh no!
Everyone.
Oh.
Not
What's your best guess?
not many people here liked him. He came and preached, but I would think anybody in here would have happily had their words with him.
So, after the fact? Did anyone seem more relieved than the others before there was general knowledge that he was dead?
Well, he only came in once a month, so I would say everybody was kind of
Aware by the time.
yeah. No, I wouldn't say anybody looked more relieved. Everybody just went about their day knowing they wouldn't have to deal with him again.
Well, that's my idea.
Dora?
So he, would often be here though. Wouldn't just stop on the island for a day and then leave for a month and then come back. Is that correct?
Usually, yes. He would come in, preach, get thrown out. Occasionally, there would be some yelling outside by the docks as he continued to try and preach before they made him get on his boat and leave. But the last time I saw him, it was the same as always. He got on a table, preached, the twins threw him, two of the triplets threw him out, and that was the last time we saw him.
Dude, like, religious danced on a table? Like, seriously?
Well, he would preach from the table.
Right.
Basically a misuse of a tavern table.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. How dare. How very dare.
Makeshift pulpit.
Pretty much.
Tor will ask, have there been any other sudden passings on the island, whether it be self-inflicted? I suppose a focus on self-inflicted, but if there's been anybody else that's passed unexpected.
She kind of looks around. Outside of Zacharias, the triplets, and the godmother, and the workers here, all the patrons are fishermen. They come, they go. Sometimes they're here for months, sometimes they're here for weeks, and we don't see them again. I couldn't tell you. The faces rotate through far too often.
Who would know which boat is his? I mean, since most people have...
She looks at Oscar.
Of course. Oscar, where's your former friend's boat now?
He didn't have a boat. He would acquire passage here and then acquire passage back. We are servants of God. We do not seek earthly possessions.
So,
Although he did have a couple, but none that would cost as much as a boat.
what was the last transport that he acquired, or you acquired with him, for him?
I didn't. The vicar came here on his own, usually while I was off administering the word of our Savior at other places.
Other character, would we know like what religion this is?
Yeah, which
No. Honestly, like it says it, but I had to look it up. It's a very strict sect of Christianity. But I will tell you that it wouldn't make a difference to the story or the plot.
I was just wondering if it was one where they believe suicide is like.
That's pretty.
I would say the majority of Christian religions, especially around that time, believe suicide to be a mortal sin. So you would know that if he did kill himself, he would believe that he would be damning himself.
And I'm really curious what this sect is.
I will find it. Like it actually says the sect, and it calls like it. It says that he studied under like an actual person who was leading. Yeah, I tried to look it up to see if I could get any good quotes in it really quick.
I think root and tune Christology, I believe it was.
Exology.
Oh.
Any other
wait,
questions at the
is
table?
Sophie still at the table? Or...
No, you guys have
Okay, so
you guys have left. We're kind of doing the table first, and then we will do you guys.
If I wanted to acquire passage on the same boat, how would you go about accomplishing that? Asking both the waitress and the other guy.
Oscar.
I said, I don't know what boat he acquired passage on this time. He would, whoever was leaving port, the Farbaka port, at the time that he wanted to come here, that's who he would pay. It was not the same boat captain or crew each time. It just depended.
Who was available and who was willing?
Yes. He knew the majority of the captains that would make this trip, but there was never any rhyme or reason to who he would choose, just who was available at the time.
And I would assume that whoever served his trip here would not necessarily serve his trip back.
It depends on how long he planned to stay here or how long he was allowed to stay here. Sometimes he would be here for a day or two, staying on the boat cabin. Sometimes he would not make it that night. So you are correct. Sometimes it would be different to and from Farbaka. Sometimes it would be the same boat.
Well, that's my other idea.
I guess like I'd take I'd probably do like whatever investigation check or a perception check. Just be like, kind of like look her over to see if there's anything that I consider, like indicative of some sort of wound or ailment that has happened to her of late.
I mean, can I has your sheets? That'd be easier than me looking at them.
I guess
These
that's
don't have the
medicine,
skills on them.
maybe.
Well, they don't.
Yeah, I was
Huh.
like, dang, I gotta print out every. The skill's like 4 pages. I'm definitely gonna.
Medicine
print
is
that out.
based off
Yeah,
of
that's-
precision, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
What?
just looking. Medicine's based off
Medicine's based off
precision. Well, would you want a surgeon that's imprecise? Take
In
me
that,
out your school.
give me,
I'm a surgeon.
is there a medicine
Shit, I have
skill?
that.
Yeah,
Yes, there is. Yes.
the medicine
Precision.
skill is based on precision.
Oh, wait, give me a medicine check then.
Oh, sure, I'll do that.
I have more medicine than I do just speak.
7, just 5, 6, 7. Yep, and you can just continue to fail.
Nothing?
I
Nothing.
got
She
two.
looks pale and
Bless your heart. When I roll with my actual dice, I'm doing worse than this digital dice roller that I'm playing with right now.
I got 2 successes.
Oh.
You don't notice any physical ailments. Nothing that would seem like there was an injury that had healed recently or a current scratch break.
Seems fine to me.
Thor will just say, well, thank you for your help.
And the beer.
So I understand that this is not a pleasant or easy situation or conversation to be put in. If you think of anything, please think of us.
She looks at you, looks back at the godmother as the rest of the group is kind of making their way over there. Just don't make a scene. And then she looks at Oscar and keep him in check. Don't let him annoy the patrons like the vicar did, and you will be left alone. As long as you don't make a scene and cost them money, they will leave. And then she kind of nods, takes away the empty mugs, makes her way away. All right, then we will pick up with the group that is
Away.
away, making their way towards the godmother.
All right, who's with me?
I'm with you.
London.
The away
Yep.
team.
All right, the away team. We are the away team. None of us are wearing red. It's fine. Only the DM is wearing red, suspiciously enough.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Wait, Oscar? No, Oscar's wearing black.
Oh, that's right.
Which is just a really, really dark red.
Black is the new
We all know that.
Black is the new red. All right, so you kind of make your way between the tables, and as you come up to her, again, she's got the shotgun kind of sitting across her lap, and she's looking
Mhm.
around, keeping an eye on everybody. And then as you come towards her, she kind of looks at you, just has this really dour look on her face, handling a shotgun, not like pointing it or anything, but she has both hands on it, and she's just watching you sitting on the barrel as you make your way towards her.
So the three of us are a team. We have worked together in the past, so they know I'm faking. So I definitely lean down on Londa. Londa? Yeah. Sorry, not everyone has their real name in parentheses next to their fake name, so I'm scanning a lot.
I think
So-
Reginald and what's your
Megan.
Oh yeah, Megan.
Reginald, Megan, and Londa following behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sophia's leaning on Londa, and Londa is a very, very astute investigator, which she knows.
Isn't Londa following behind?
Yeah, I was the one who took your
Yeah, Megan and Reginald are the ones that took your arm. Londa is behind you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so Reginald is
arms.
Nate?
Yours.
No, Lars.
Lars.
Okay, Lars. That's right. I dragged Lars into this. I'm sorry,
Yes, you
Reginald.
Almost literally.
That's right, because you were previously an officer of some military sort. So Sophia, limping heavily and pretending that she needs her cane on the other leg now.
The way it
Which-
goes.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. It's very house fashion. Does go up, and I hear they call you the good mother.
She kind of looks you over. If they know what's good for them. She just stares at you.
Is she an older
Yeah.
lady? Or is she-
Oh yeah, she is easily as old as Sophia.
All
Like,
right.
she is the twins and Zechariah's mother.
The triplets.
The triplets, sorry.
Yep.
And Zechariah's
So are we playing old person chicken? Because this is gonna be fun.
apparently.
And I have obviously a bit of a soft spot for bitchy old ladies. So when she responds with that, I just get this little like grin on my face. Just yay, another one. This is gonna be awesome. Like life just got good.
And I do
Oh,
think
what's up,
that
Reginald? Sorry, hold on a second, Timmy.
But
Yep.
so I'm just gonna say I'm picturing her as Ron's mother in Parks and Rec.
Previously on Res of the Loon Ladies.
Okay, so Sophia is going to, I'm assuming, Sean, please tell me if I'm wrong, see that this woman is very capable, very astute, and very sharp.
Nothing you have seen so far would dissuade you from that thought process.
Okay. So she's gonna like awkwardly and slowly lower herself into a chair nearby.
Okay.
And then so I've heard that there was a death recently. And I also know that the person who died was not well loved by all the people here, which is completely understandable. I don't even know what accent I'm doing now, just so y'all know. I'm just going with it.
Do it. Do it. Rock it.
She's gonna pull out of pocket, I don't know what, 14, Werther's original and slide it across. Old people love Werther's originals, right? Can you tell?
Slightly.
Oh, yeah.
You're sitting in a chair and she's sitting on a bit above you on like a liquor barrel.
Yep, that's fine. Sophia does not mind because honestly, Sophia knows if you're trying to look strong and tall or whatever, then you're trying to do like a thing, and she doesn't care if she seems to be the lower of the thing.
Okay.
Okay, so she just pulls out a Werther's original and like slides it across, as though it's like a bargaining chip in some way.
No, so there isn't like a table or anything like that between you two.
No.
You're in a.
No.
It's like, what are you sliding it across?
That's what
All
I'm
right, so instead of sliding, she just holds her hand out with the Werther's original in it.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
She has both her hands on her shotgun. She's kind of looking at you.
I understand that maybe this wasn't the most popular person, and I understand. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Oh my god. This is why I stopped doing accents for girly, y'all. So she says, doesn't matter if you like him or not. You're a person. And she just stands there, holding out the Werther's original in a hand that is trembling a little bit too much to be realistic.
She takes her hand off her shotgun, reaches out, takes the Werther's, kind of sets it on the barrel beside her, puts her hand back on her shotgun. It was a tragedy. It's a shame. We're all gonna miss him greatly.
I would like to make a perception check. I would like.
Observation.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie, but I would like to do an observation check just to see what do I notice. Like,
go ahead.
How does she lie?
Oh, what?
Lori check. The lie detector said.
Oh. But it was a good one.
All right. So observation is 5 plus 2. All right, we're gonna roll, and we got 1 6. I have 7 rolls, y'all. Just so you know, this is far below the average.
I have rolled 7 dice 3 times and not gotten 6 yet.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
That's because statistics are awesome.
Yeah, I would say I think I was reading it, even if you get like 7 dice to roll, you only have like an 80-something% chance of rolling a 6. Like, it's still not incredibly high. You did roll a success, so you can tell that 72. What was it? 72%? Okay. You can tell that she is not being completely honest with hurt.
I assumed that from that. What I want to know, what Sophia wants to know, does she have a tell? Does she have
Not that
I
you've
noticed?
been able to determine from your brief time speaking with her.
Okay, that's fair. So she's gonna change tactics as though she just like she's gonna close her eyes, blink, look down, and go, I love the folklore from this area. And I heard a story. Have you ever heard it? About the fisherman? And she kind of like reiterates the story from her previous automatic writing thing.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that? Is this familiar? Is this something from your area?
She kind of looks at you, grips her shotgun. Oh man, loving a fish lady. Sounds kind of crazy to me.
Well, it does sound crazy if you think of it as a real thing. I'm not looking for like a story from someone you know. I'm more interested, as you would, in a story, just a fable, a tale that you would tell around the fire.
Got enough things to worry about here, my dear. We don't like to tell fairy stories. There are plenty of little children around. Call back if you want one of those.
Oh, I totally understand, my dear. Oh, I do. I really do. I'm so sorry to bother you. I do. Everyone here seems to hold you in such high regard. I wish to speak to you to get your understanding of what happened. That's all.
Of what happened to what exactly, my dear?
That priest who was so pushy, the one who, it seems as though he killed himself, but it doesn't quite add up, does it?
Who knows what goes on in the minds of men who are rejected over and over and over again by the flock they try to
You are so right. Oh my goodness. You know, that sort of frustration, I totally understand. I do. I do think it's very sad, you know, when someone does something like that. Was there an incident before? Was there something that happened the day before?
The last time he was here, he made a fuss like he usually does, riles up the customers, gets them to not spend their money. And two of my boys, and she kind of nods to the two walking around, managed to get him out and get the place calmed down. And that was the last time I saw him.
Oh, you know, I actually thought he was ineffective in his preachings. You know, many people, especially in a bar, let's be real. Oh, my dear. That would be very unwelcome, wouldn't it?
When people are telling him to shut his mouth instead of paying for drink, it is unwelcome.
Yes, of course it would be. If you bought a drink, you should pay for it. And she like slams her hand down a little bit. Of course it would be unwelcome. It's very, very normal and natural. Was there anyone who had an especial anger towards this?
Well, I wouldn't blame them if they did.
No, myself neither.
You can ask any of the lads moving around. Maybe
Ooh,
one of
the
the big women.
handsome lads. Aren't they handsome?
She kind of looks at you. They're a bit young.
They are, I know, my dear. But do you know the younger ones that have so much vigor? Are they twins, my dear? That I don't wish to assume.
She takes the vigor comment and then the twins comment and kind of looks at you. They're my sons.
But you had twins then, my dear?
Triplets.
Oh, triplets, my dear. Congratulations. You must be so proud.
She kind of looks at him.
Oh, God, that's so terrible. Oh, my God. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to take a moment. Oh, there are three strapping young lads. You must. Where's the third?
Out. He decided to go to Fallbacka for some relaxation.
Oh, I've heard so much about the relaxation in Fallbacka. There were raspberry cakes that I've heard of, and whatever the fuck that word was, the something that was like a brunch.
Fika.
Yeah, that one. Oh, the fika. Oh, I've heard tales of the fika. Thank you, Toril. Thank you.
Hold on.
So,
well, Paul did love his strawberry cakes.
All right, so we have triplets. We have two of them here. One of them potentially somewhere else getting a strawberry cake. She doesn't want to push her luck. Have you? I'm so sorry to bother you. I know you're so busy. Everyone here holds you in such high regard. But are there any local stories of, you know, the? And she like leans in as though she's like whispering a secret. The sea women.
She kind of leans in again and looks around and looks down at you. The only sea women here are when I decide to go out to take a swim.
I'm gonna bark a laugh at that. Like,
I bet you charmed them all, my dear. Okay, what else can I do? Thank you so. I'm so. Oh, I am so. I never introduced myself. My name is Sophia. My friends call me Sophie. What's your name?
As this keeps going on, Reginald just looks increasingly kind of uncomfortable. It's just
Yeah, and so Sophia keeps gripping onto his arm in like a stronger and stronger, more uncomfortable grip.
When you get to this introducing yourself part, he finally just like shakes you off and away.
And then as you ask, she leans down. You can call me Godmother.
It's a lovely name. It implies so much, my dear. Oh, thank you, Godmother, for your time. I so appreciate you. And then she grips onto Megan, who has the opportunity to say something.
No, I've been pretty much just standing behind you, off to the side, in the position that a good servant would actually be in, much to the shock of anyone who has paid attention to me.
I was going to say,
All right.
I'm surprised that you haven't been back there just like being her anger translator.
In other situations maybe, but not this one.
All right. So Sophia will hold on to Megan, walk away, and then under her breath, just so Megan can hear, that lady's very suspicious. And then we continue our way back.
All right, so as this conversation is going on, as you turn and begin to make your way back, back at the table, it is Tebeka and Torel. You are sitting there kind of, Justina has moved away. It's you two and Oscar. And this conversation is happening as you see them kind of turn and begin to kind of navigate their way through. Both of you hear a small gurgling sound from the plates in front of you. Both of you look down, and the two whole fishes that are in front of each of you, you see, that's where you hear the gurgling sound come from. And as you look down, you see bubbles begin to come from the fish's mouths, followed by some black bile that just begins to ooze out of their mouths. And then you begin to hear a noise that just sounds like a groaning sound coming from the fish. And as you're looking down at them, you see that their glassy eyes actually begin, the one that's facing up at you begins to move a little bit, and its head, the fish's head turns slightly, and the black bile is still coming out of its mouth. And you just hear, almost as if somebody is trying to speak with a mouthful of water, you just hear, "New moon," and then just the bile begins to start coming out of its mouth faster and faster, filling the plate that it's on and almost beginning to overflow. And right as it gets to the point where it's just about to overflow, Toril, from the side of you, there is just a steak knife that just shoots into your vision and stabs down into the fish. And both of you blink just because of the noise it makes. And as you close your eyes and open them back up, there's just fish. There's nothing else. There's the two fish, no bile, and the knife sticking in it. And as you look to the side, you see an older gentleman, probably even older than the godmother. Long, white, disheveled hair down to his shoulders, just wrinkles and sun-baked skin, just looks hard. And he has a crazed look in his eyes, and he looks at Torel and then looks at TBT and just says, "You need to leave now."